Selfie smartphones. You might hate that term as much as phablet, but there's no denying there's a growing market there. While most smartphones try to incorporate decent front cameras, some go above and beyond with high-resolution sensors, a front-facing LED flash, and in some cases, even autofocus. The Lenovo Vibe S1 though takes selfies to a whole new level. It's the world's first smartphone to feature two front cameras. As you can expect, the Vibe S1 has quite a few tricks up its sleeve. But the good news is that it doesn't compromise on other specs in the bargain. So, is the Vibe S1 just a gimmick or a mid-range smartphone worth shelling out for? Let's find out. The first time we saw the Vibe S1, it gave us some very distinctly Motorola vibes. The rounded corners, curved back panel, and familiar bulge at the top and bottom are all Moto-inspired design elements, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Combined with its smooth glass rear, lightweight aluminum frame, and metal accents, the Vibe S1 looks like a slender, less chunky Motorola smartphone. While the glass back panel takes the sex appeal up a few notches, it also has a nasty habit of picking up smudges and fingerprints. The Gorilla Glass 3 layer helps to keep scratches at bay, but we doubt it would safeguard the glass from drops. Using a case is therefore inevitable, and the bundled clear case Lenovo includes with the retail box fits the bill nicely. The Vibe S1 sports a 5-inch display with full HD resolution and is protected by Gorilla Glass. The display was fluid, sharp, and responsive during our testing. Text and icons are clear, and the display offers good viewing angles too. Sunlight legibility is a strong point, with the screen remaining clearly visible even under harsh lighting. The highlights of the Vibe S1 are undoubtedly its dual cameras, which consist of 8MP and 2MP units, with the latter responsible for depth sensing. At the rear, the Vibe S1 gets a 13MP camera with dual LED flash. For images taken with the dual camera, you get two options: blur and cutout. The blur option lets you tap anywhere on the image to focus and automatically defocuses the background. You can choose from simple, spiral, and fast blur options and adjust the level of blur by using the slider. The cutout mode automatically cuts out your selfie so you can paste it on a different background. If you want to fine-tune it, you can cut out the image manually. You can then paste your selfie on a variety of preloaded backgrounds or choose an image from your gallery. Despite the special effects, we think that many users would probably get bored of the dual camera after the honeymoon period gets over. But let's give credit where it's due. For regular selfies, the Vibe S1 does a stand-up job. Skin tone appears natural, grain is minimal, and the subject is always in focus. The rear camera by comparison is a mixed bag. Macro shots are detailed, but daylight images suffer from poor dynamic range. In lower lighting conditions, you'll find a lot of grain, and light leaks are prominent in night shots. Coming to the software, the Vibe S1 runs Lenovo's custom Vibe UI, which is based on Android 5.0 Lollipop. You get the same cluttered interface with a load of bloatware, most of which can be uninstalled. The apps are laid out across the various home screens since Vibe UI lacks an app drawer. Lenovo's usual Sync It and Share It apps are present, as is the Theme Center, which features the same 6 themes. In settings, you'll find a few gesture controls such as Quick Snap, which lets you double press any of the volume keys when the screen is off to take a photo, and double tap to wake. Vibe UI also features a power manager, which includes both a regular battery saver mode plus an ultimate power saver mode. The Vibe S1 is powered by the outdated MediaTek MT6752 processor paired with 3GB of RAM. The Vibe S1 remains smooth and fast during our testing period. We played Dead Trigger 2 and Riptide GP2 to test its gaming abilities and didn't encounter any noticeable freezes or frame drops. The smartphone does tend to heat up while gaming though, with even short 5 to 10 minute sessions resulting in the rear panel becoming toasty. On the storage front, the Vibe S1 offers 32GB of space, out of which nearly 24GB is user available. While the Vibe S1 is a dual SIM device, one of the SIM card slots is hybrid, accepting a micro SD card if you prefer. The other connectivity features include 4G, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, and USB OTG. The Vibe S1 draws power from a fixed 2500 mAh battery. With heavy usage, the battery drain was quite evident. In our video loop battery drain test, the Vibe S1 lasted for 8 hours and 50 minutes before it ran out of juice, which is a very average result. For a mid-range smartphone, the Vibe S1 should satisfy most users. The high-resolution display, ample storage, reliable performance, decent cameras and classy design all work in its favor and more than justify the price tag of Rs 15,999. But the dual camera, which is the foundation the Vibe S1 has been built on, felt more like a gimmick than a useful feature. The Vibe S1's biggest competitor is the OnePlus X. Both devices are pretty much on par, and in the end it comes down to which one you prefer. Although we'd personally recommend the OnePlus X.